So I'd like to look at the ways we tend to generally respond to conflict. So will you join me?
Okay.
So I'd like you to come at me like you're going to attack me. All right, okay, so somebody comes at us and we have our instinct to defend ourselves. So let's try that again. Okay, so this is sometimes called focus on the problem, not the person. When I'm like this, it's me against him. Well, you should have,
No,
and
you
why
could've.
didn't you? And
Why
it's all
didn't
your
you?
fault.
What? You should have.
All right. So if I can get off my position and be willing to come around and see how he sees it, then I'm realizing he's not the problem, I'm not the problem, but we have a problem. And this way we can focus on the problem together rather than just blaming and judging one another. It's also called having a common viewing point rather than a point of view. Like this, it's his point of view against my point of view. For instance, tell me, when you look out into the world, what do you see?
Well, I see trees, I see a fence, I see a
Fence.
big
I don't see a
field.
fence. I see a TV.
I see houses.
And there's a clock.
No way, there's no clock out there.
There's no houses out. What? Are you crazy?
Well, you're crazy.
No, you're. Okay, so again, when somebody comes at us with this is how the world is and how it should be, if I can get off my position and the way I see the world and come around, then we can have a common viewing point. As Stephen Covey said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. So if I can come over and be willing to see how he sees the world, then hopefully I will invite him to come, and because he's felt heard and received and respected, he'll be willing to listen to how I see the world. Okay? So let's look at so that's kind of the fight mode. Somebody comes at us and we defend ourselves. Let's look at the flee mode. Pull me towards this. I want to talk about
I want to talk about this.
No,
Yes,
we've been
we've
through
got to
this
talk
so
about this.
many times.
Yes, I know. We've got to talk about it.
Okay. So it takes energy to flee. It takes energy to fight. It takes energy to flee. Let's look at that again. So I want to talk about
I want to talk about this.
Yeah,
Come on.
let's talk about it.
Okay.
Now that looks so easy, but for this person it takes a lot of courage to be willing to engage. This is a person who has experienced it's not safe to engage, that I'm going to lose, I might even get hurt. Okay? And so this person's job is to help make it safe for me. And one of the ways to do this, one of the things that we want to look at is how do you work for solutions that meet both people's needs. So to be able to say to me, I am really committed to finding a way to resolve this that works for both of us. That will help me to be willing to engage, okay? So we looked at the fight, the flee, and then of course there's freeze. And I like to think about freezing is the body's still there, but everything else is checked out. You're just stuck, okay? So all of this is just to give you some images so that when you find yourself either stuck pushing against somebody, fighting in opposition, or pulling away, and not necessarily physically here, but even verbally, just not willing to engage, or just frozen, how do you change that fight, flight, freeze to a flow? How do you shift the energy so that you can be working together to focus on the problem, not the person, and to have a common viewing point rather than a point of view, so you can work together for mutually agreeable, satisfactory solutions. Thank you.
You're
Okay?